Welcome to PhD with Woman on IT, Hack the Future. My name is Beata Young, and today's PhD, Positivity Hack Delivered, will be by our guests, Martina Zammit and Rachel Cachia. Topic: Small Island Creative Female Entrepreneurs with Great Ideas. Episode 86 starts here. Let me remind you, this is a grassroots community that focuses on women on IT, an inclusive forum of women in technology, startups, and female leaders who are supported by men as well. And I bring heart to that hustle because empathy is my motto. And empathy is critical when you are a creative female with great ideas. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Sarah Olson and Jennifer Ryan, who included my point of view in LinkedIn News Europe. Let me quote what I said. Lifelong learning and upskilling for career advancement are vital. I would like to see more companies engaged in sustainable development, not as a way of promoting their brand, but as a vision for the future. We're posting the link in comments, so please read that. And if you have any feedback, I'm happy to talk to you. Another great news, everyone. J.K. Rowling just launched Barry's Place, a sexual violence support service for women run by women. Barry's Place professional staff will provide free one-to-one and group counseling for women. Finally, I would like to recommend a very interesting interview by our PhD 12 guest, Marta Zucker, with Cachia Soldak, the director of The Long Breakup. The movie is about Ukraine's struggle to escape Russian influence. A great way to learn about the history of Ukraine. Let's go back to today's episode. We are going to learn about small island creative female entrepreneurs with great ideas. When it comes to helping potential buyers discover a product, video content can be a useful tool. More than 90% of marketers claim that video content has improved user understanding of products and services. In this episode of Positivity Hack Delivered, we are joined by two females who are redefining the way we think about entrepreneurship in the small island of Malta and beyond. We'll hear from Martina Zammit and Rachel Cachia, who have built their careers in their respective industries by embracing the power of creativity through storytelling videos. Martina and Rachel are co-founders of V-Squared, a one-stop shop marketing and creative agency that narrates its client stories through elements of design, digital, and video. They are also partners as co-founder and director hosts, respectively, in a tech-focused TV show called Gadgets that provides a space to nurture creative ideas when it comes to innovations and technological advancements. Let's start with a simple question. It's probably you got the hue of what the answer might be. Where in the world are you, Martina and Rachel?
Hi, Beata. Hi, everyone. Really nice to be connecting with you and anyone who's with us on this podcast, PhD. We are currently in Malta, which is a small island just under Italy. And in fact, I said, before coming on, I said, what are we famous for? And I just remembered we're very famous for pastizzi, which are pastries filled with ricotta cheese. So yes, we are from Malta, a very, very small island.
Very small, but very beautiful and picturesque with very rich history, I may add, and lots of churches. I believe there is more churches than, I don't know, creative. Yes, Rachel.
Church for every day of the year. So
365 churches.
Exactly. How many of these have female names of saints, though?
there are quite a few. quite a few, but not as many as men. So we're always in the minority, right? As females in these things. We're getting there though.
But not today, because today Positivity Hacks Delivered will be by V Squared, Martina, and Rachel. And let's put the spotlight on you, because usually you put the spotlight on clients. It's time for Woman on It to put the spotlight on you and let you narrate your personal story. So let's go with a simple question. What is the purpose of storytelling? Let's start with Rachel.
Storytelling is an important aspect, obviously, of what we do. And I think in everybody's life, when you're presenting something, as well as you, Beata, you have to create a story, to engage people, to share and to engage with what you're saying. And with V Squared, obviously, we create stories through videos mainly, and it's our sort of bread and butter. This is what we do. We help clients to solve their problems when it comes to marketing issues or challenges that they want to portray their voice out there more. We use video to help them do that. So this is storytelling for us.
What's your story then, Rachel and Martina? When you started a couple of years ago, you did not envisage yourself building videos, did you?
You take it, Rach. Who's gonna say it? Shall
Go,
I?
go for it.
We started over 10 years ago, around 12 years ago, we started TV. So television was the industry of TV is what was attractive to us, and we opened up V Squared to enter the TV industry. Along the lines of the producing, we did TV dramas, we produced documentaries for the national station. We eventually realized, so we are speaking about 2013, we started understanding the social media world is growing. And once we realized that the social media world is growing, we saw that video, when it comes to social media, when it comes to websites, there was going to be a big market for video. Video before was only for TV. Suddenly, we saw this big increase, and we decided to change the strategy of the company. So after 3 years of working for the TV industry, or for producing shows for the TV industry, we changed our strategy and decided to say, okay, we know how to tell stories through video. So let's start producing videos for clients, any clients out there, corporate videos, where they can tell their story and post it on their Facebook page, post it on their Instagram, on their website. So suddenly, with the burst of video, V Squared was one of the leading media companies, media agencies that helped clients put their story together through a video and post it on their social media pages or their website.
That's excellent news. Well done, ladies. However, I want to ask you, how much of a role plays your personal experience as a video producer for television versus you have to start from the scratch, generate ideas, and come up with a concept for clients? What's the difference, and what are the benefits of working independently?
Before we were producing things for TV, as Martina was rightly mentioning. So for TV, you do things the way you want them to be. There's no one telling you how to do them. You can be as creative and as much as you want. So that is the main difference. When it comes to clients, obviously, clients will have a say on what they like. They will have their own opinion, obviously, of what they like and they don't like. Obviously, we always give our professional advice from our end. And usually we work with clients that are very much into understanding that, you know, what we are trying to offer here is for the benefit of their company.
So, what attracted you to entrepreneurship? Because, as you said, you started with production for TV industry, which is, I believe, a more stable job, more stable dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So, Martina, let me ask you, how much time and effort goes into finding, sourcing these leads, finding clients?
So yes, you were mentioning it. It was basically, it started off with me and Rachel actually holding the cameras ourselves, of going out and filming, of ourselves editing. This is how we started, you know, being on the job ourselves, from meeting clients, from literally from A to Z. It was just me and Rachel. And then you mentioned sort of, how did this become more of a business? How did we become more enterprising? And we, as I was saying, once we realized that we want to go on a different path, we changed a little bit of the path and focused on the video market. We sat down and started becoming a bit more serious with strategizing. So we employed our first video editor. The company started growing. We then started to employ a camera person. So slowly, our team started growing, and mine and Rachel's roles started to change. So that is where our leadership skills started coming into place, where we were suddenly being put in positions where we had to take the lead, where we had to take decisions when faced with problems. And I think this is what made us, and we're still learning a lot, but this is what made us the entrepreneurs that we are today. When you mention clients, this is an interesting part. So this is where I think the great synergy came between myself and Rachel. I think Rachel, not I think, is the reason why I opened a company with Rachel from my end. Rachel's the most creative person I know. She does absolutely fantastic and amazing work when it comes to visual art. And from my end, if I could say so myself, it was more the networking side, where I was very comfortable meeting clients and showing them what we could do, and hopefully working into getting a sale into the company. And that is how the actual story between myself and Rachel started. It was a very tough time, but looking back, I can definitely say it was a very exciting thing that we embarked on.
Speaking of networking, I think it's a very unique approach to networking in Malta, because it's a small island and it feels like everybody knows everyone. Is that correct? And is
Yes.
everybody working with Maltese? Rachel, what's your take on that?
I mean, yes, we're a small island, as you mentioned, and we tend to be at the same events, you know, together, and you tend to meet the same people. Obviously, when we started, we were two 24-year-old girls, so entering into the network system wasn't that easy. I remember even going to the national TV station, me and Martina, and when we entered the room, to propose our proposals to the station. I remember seeing this big table with like 15 men around it and one woman to pitch our proposal to. And you feel a bit, you saw at that point we felt a bit like, am I in the right place? Is this the right industry for me? Because you feel, you know, a bit out of place. However, with time, you learn that you get the opportunity. There are opportunities everywhere. Just you have to be confident and aim high. And I think that is what we did, and this is what we keep on doing till today.
Mm. I think it's a great segue now to mention our previous speaker, Cindy Gallop, who says everybody is driven by social conditioning, fear of what other people will think. So, how to tackle that fear when you were standing in front of all these men looking critically at you, quizzically, what are these 24 years old girls doing in front of me, and what exactly are they going to do here to impress me? How did you deal with that, Martina?
I remember. I think one of the being 24 was an advantage, I must say, because I think you're less. The fear was much less. So, in at least in my case, and I tend to discuss this a lot with Rachel. The older I grow, the more experience you get. Funnily enough, the more fear comes into place. When we were just 24-year-olds, our ambition, our passion was so strong that I feel nothing could stop us from reaching our dreams. And it was, we knew where we wanted to head, we knew where we wanted, what we wanted to achieve, and by hook or by crook, we did everything to achieve our goals. And I think even today, when I look back at myself, at when we were still 24, I keep saying, just if we keep the passion and the ambition alive, that burning flame inside you, where you have nothing can stop you, then I think the fear that we all have, that we all go through, should never stop us or keep us away from reaching our dreams. I don't think I can. Is it mine only? I can't
No,
hear.
it's you. It's just a big lorry in front of me. I was trying to make sure everybody can hear us perfectly. So, Martina, do you have any? Rachel, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, as Martina was saying, I totally agree. The older you grow, you tend to be a bit more cautious, I would say. Obviously, today, when we started, we were just me and Martina and maybe two other people. Nowadays, we're a team of 25 people. So you need to obviously, take the right decisions, not just for the company, but for everyone within the company. So I think we're on the right track. We've been on the right track, and we're still on the right track with that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What I'd
So,
like what I'd like
yes.
to add, if you don't mind, um, we are on the right track. What we need, I mean, we've been through. I want everyone to know that it hasn't been hunky dory and all. It hasn't been an easy ride. So myself and Rachel, like every other company, like every other individual, we go through challenges on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Problems are just thrown at you constantly. That doesn't mean that it's something negative. It is extremely normal. It is how you deal with those challenges and with those problems. And I think when it comes to problem solving, if someone tells me how to solve problems, there's no straight answer of how to solve problems. What I've learned is, usually it's very hard to take a decision when you're faced with a challenge. The hardest thing is the decision is so big, the decision is so hard, that you tend to procrastinate and never take a decision. And I think the most important thing is, no matter how hard that decision is, you need to take it. You never know if it's the right decision. You are never sure. But I think is taking that decision and going with your gut. And once you've taken that decision, you need to own it, and go with it. And I think that is what helps you to keep moving.
Oh, absolutely, Martina. We've heard it over and over on this PhD. The first step is the hurt, can hurt the deepest. And thinking about your first step, I'm thinking about Guy Kawasaki, who said, when making that decision, is the first question. Ask yourself, are you in the billion dollar game? If not, seek other forms of funding. How was it for you when you decided to go independent and form your own company? Did you fund it yourself, or did you find some other resources?
I'm not sure I understood the question. I don't know if it can be rephrased. I don't know.
Martina, what I mean is there VC fund existing in Malta? Is there any other sources of funding apart from bootstrapping your own idea and starting from scratch with your own money?
Unfortunately, in Malta, it's still very, very initial when it comes to funding and investments from other companies or individuals. So no, this was literally myself and Rachel that started from scratch, our own money, €500 each from our pocket. We opened our first bank account and we just started from there. There was no funding at any point or investment from any other individual or company.
There you go. That's another great opportunity to quote Eleanor Roosevelt. Women are like tea bags. We don't know our true strength until we are in hot water. So if you were comparing yourself to a tea bag, or what kind of content would be in tea bag? Martina, what kind of tea are you? Are you built of a very dark, strong black tea, English tea? What's behind that beautiful creature of Martina?
Well, if we take it literally, the tea I do love is I'm speaking about the tea, okay, for now. So it's literally I'm very medium, so it's not too dark and it's not too light, and I'm very traditional with my tea. So it's no herbal teas. I just like my English breakfast tea. So going back to remind me what the
Eleanor Roosevelt said, the women are like a tea bag. The hotter the water gets, the stronger the tea. Are you coming to entrepreneurship with a kick of a dark tea in the morning, or are you a mild person? Your approach like a
would say
infusion.
contrary to the way I take my tea, which is not too dark. I think I'm quite a very, very much a dark. So I'm very. I think Rachel needs to speak about me. I don't know. I feel stupid speaking about myself. But I think
Rachel, what's
I
your take on Martina? What is she like when she's boiling in hot water?
No, Martina is definitely the overdrive train, I would call her. So she's the one who is very much knows what she wants, and she tries to get what she wants. And I'm the opposite of that, sort of. I'm more in the creative, in synergy. So I'll be in the more, I need my space, I need my time to concentrate and to think mainly. So this is what makes us a good team as well.
So let's make it visual and say Rachel is more of a oriental infusion with some flower petals, jasmine, whereas Martina is more of a kick and English strong tea down to business.
yes.
Now, speaking of uh, visual storytelling, I'm thinking about all these female directors. As we know, the video or film industry remains a male dominated even today. The number of female filmmakers has significantly increased through the years, inspiring women like Greta Gerwig or Chloe Zhao or Sofia Coppola, being the daughter of the Francis Ford Coppola. It is only natural for us to take also and step into the film industry. Have you ever considered, ladies, to direct a movie from Malta?
I think this Rachel should answer because it's Rachel's
Yes.
cup of tea.
Obviously,
Go ahead.
obviously being into video definitely is something on our mind. But I think you have to be at the right place at the right time. I believe in that. So it's something that obviously with our dramas that we used to do, we started doing TV drama. So we sort of were writing a film every week, which was quite a crazy deadline that we had to meet. And so now we had a bit of a break from that, since we turned into a marketing agency. However, our passion for video, yes, drives us to tell stories, and that is something definitely that we want to do in the future. Not now, but in the future, I can see that coming.
Absolutely. Martina, anything to add?
Not really. I would say Rachel is the creative one behind with regards to directing. She has recently, so as I was saying, we started off being more on the creative side. So with us, with our cameras in our hands, being very, very much involved in the creative aspect of the company. However, with time, when you grow a team, unfortunately, you start becoming more it's more on HR, more on the business, more on the accounting. So it becomes more of a business, and unfortunately, your creative juices aren't being used. And I think what is amazing is in the last year, myself and Rachel are going back to our roots. It was only a few weeks ago that Rachel was on set directing a fantastic TV commercial for a leading jewelry brand in Malta. And I remember the day after, Rachel was beaming with a smile because she is obviously back to her original roots. And I can tell you, Rachel did a fantastic job, better than a man can do behind the camera.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. So we'll see you on in Cannes Lions, or
Yes.
maybe in Cannes to present your movie. Who knows? We have a couple of comments. We have Jane saying, "Hello, ladies. Hello, Jane. Lovely to see you."
Hello, Jane.
And we have Rombit. "Hello, ladies. Brilliant discussion. So, how much is a good balance for video versus text or static illustration?"
It's a very good question. I think both are important. So video is more, you need video when you need people to trust your brand. I think video does a fantastic job when it comes to, if you want to build trust within your audience. With regards to text, more static images, they're important for engagement. I think you get more engagement, more likes when you put a static image, which is obviously engaging enough. With video, you get more the leads, the sales leads that you need to obviously build your business after all. So maybe less likes, but more business in with video.
Excellent answer. Thank you so much. I hope you're satisfied, Rombit. How about the storytelling side? What customers want versus what you can deliver? Have you had a very challenging video you had to make?
Challenging video. I think I need.
Martina, you're very down to earth, and you're gonna push around the business partner, saying this cannot be done.
Did we have Raish? Was there any? I'm trying to remember. We had
A lot of a lot of our videos are quite challenging, to be honest, because when you're trying to tell a story and you'll have actors, you need to find the right actors, you need to find the right location, the right props, what they're wearing, because everything comes to life in a video. Everything has a meaning, and so every shoot is challenging. I would say when it comes to adverts with children, they're the most challenging, or with animals, that is where you have less control. So you have to be a good director to manage everything on set there and then. You have to sort it out there and then, basically.
Oh, I would agree with you because I remember, Rachel, a couple of years ago when we were asked by House Hunters International to screen our move to Malta. As we were doing the second set with children, one of the kids said, "Why do we have to say hello? Because we already said hello. So why do we have to say hello again?"
Again.
Absolutely. There are
Yes.
funny stories. Rachel,
And just to put you in the picture, for a 30-second video, it takes just filming on set, it takes around 20 hours. So just for 30 seconds. And then not including the pre-production, which is the storyboarding, the script, the location scouting, actors, casting. So in total, you can imagine all the hours to make just a 30-second advert.
30-second advert, 20 hours of labor. So who is arranging all these people to go on the set? Is it both of you, or do you have a person, fixer? What's the process there, ladies? Rachel?
Today,
Martina?
today, before it was us, obviously, today we grew a team. We have an operations manager who takes care of all the scheduling of all the team. Plus, we have a production manager on set who takes care then of all the locations and all the actors. And so, yes, now we're quite organized. Obviously, when you start, you try to figure it all out on your own, and you make quite a few mistakes along the way, but then obviously you learn the process. And I would say today we really fine-tuned the process of video, that we can produce good quality videos and at a very, very reasonable, price as well to our clients.
Right, Martina, let's go with you asking questions in terms of business negotiation. How much or how many of your clients are Maltese, and do you have any outside of Malta clients?
Predominantly our clients are mainly Maltese. However, we have been pushing into the outside of Malta and gaining our clients, getting international clients. This is still a process. Unfortunately, Malta, because we are a small island, we are brought up to think that the market is only the island. Sort of, we are not brought up to think that the world is your market. Unfortunately, the way you're brought up is to think, okay, Malta's our market, it's a small market, and that's all we can do. However, thankfully, in recent years, we are being we sort of are being more aware that, listen, it doesn't stop only in Malta. We can be definitely gaining our international clients, and this is still a learning process for us. In fact, one of Rachel's aims, and she keeps pressing and pushing on this, is saying, listen, V Squared needs to go international. So if there's anyone out there who is listening at the moment and wants to work with V Squared, I'm doing a plug-in over here. Beat, I hope that's okay. Any international clients are very welcome to ask us to get in touch with us.
Well, if we are talking about international clients, let's ask Rachel about the video production you're most proud of, most creative video you created so far.
It's always the last one, they say, no? No, there are so many. I mean, every video has its own story. We particularly like videos that are not hard sell videos. So videos that you tell a particular story that can engage people. One of them, which was a recent one, was we put a spotlight on single parenting with a father and his son, and it was quite well received by the audience. When you touch on certain niches and certain areas that people can relate to. I received so many messages, like, you reminded me of my dad when he used to come and visit us from abroad because he used to be away. So it was. I think that was one of my favorite, I would say.
Mm. Well, that brings me another quotation by Cindy Gallop. People will never truly bond if they don't share the same values. So I believe it is the understanding of what people value most, which is the human connection, as we know, is stays there. And I remember another video. I'm not sure whether you're behind that video, but a couple of years ago, when Malta took the route on LGBT rights, and they were talking about parents being of the same sex. And they did some videos, amazing video of a couple who adopted a child with Down syndrome. And that just shows the power. I've got chills now on my back. That just shows the power of human connection. So, ladies, we are past the 30 minutes mark. We have some questions and comments in a section of the comments. Marian Madeira, hello, I would love to watch that movie someday. She's referring to the movie You Might Come One Day with Rumbit. Great answers. Is there a problem casting in a small population country like Malta? Who takes this question?
Again, Rachel. Rachel is very much into casting.
Even though it's a small country, we're proud to say that we burst with a lot of talent. So yes, it's not easy, obviously, because you need to find the right people. Sometimes the right people are not even interested in participating in something like this. So it's a lot of research that we do, and it's a lot of audition calls that we put out there, so we attract the right talent and the right cast for our future adverts, basically.
Now, what is the role of customer testimonials? Do you have something that you're very proud of?
Again, I think this is more with Rachel.
Go ahead, Rachel. Another question for you.
I mean, testimonials are, for us, every client is someone we value a lot. So for us, after a project, we value that nice message or that nice email that we receive from the client, telling us that it was great working with you, and they're pleased, obviously, with the final product. We don't really splash our testimonials out there. Maybe we should do it more. But internally, it's something that really drives us and really gives us a lot of boost. So it's more shared internally with the team. This is how we work with testimonials, mainly.
Which brings a nice segue for you, Martina, because we are talking about bragging before we went into this show. I believe part of bragging is talking about how amazing job you've done with your clients. So, Martina, tell us about bragging.
So before going into the bragging, I need to, because you just reminded me and I completely forgot. But this morning, and I haven't even told Rachel yet, I went for a meeting, and it's a client we've already worked with a number of times. We've done TV commercials. It's a shopping mall in Malta, very, very prominent shopping mall in Malta. And I obviously went with new ideas and new projects that we have in the future. And obviously I asked the question, how is it going with V Squared? And her answer was, listen, it's a 20 on 10 from me. She told me, you have an efficient team, you have always so reliable, very creative, enthusiastic. So yes, I'm bragging over here because I think it's one of the nicest things when you're proud of your team, and when you are at least aware of the positive attributes that your team have. I think it's very important to share with your team, as Rich is saying, that we do that, but also sometimes it's important to put it out there. There's no problem with, I strongly believe this. I think, so I'm going to bring in the issue of men and women. I think women tend to stay back when it comes to bragging. We feel we are being a bit too boasty and we're being a bit too showy. So unfortunately, and sometimes it can be the case, unfortunately we stay back. So we're like afraid to show off because what if people think this? Whilst with men, I think they do it so well. They just literally without thinking or without anything, they just go ahead and show off what they're very much proud of. And I think this is where women need to start being a little bit more showy. Don't worry, as long as you keep your feet on the ground and remain humble, I think it's still very okay. And I think it's very, very important that, let's not call it bragging, but it's very, very important to promote yourself in today's world, especially with all the social networks we have and the ways we can connect with people. It is very important to promote yourself and to promote your work. Get in touch, tell them what you can do, show what you can do, and be proud of of yourself and your team.
Absolutely, I can only kudos to you, Martina and Rachel, for bragging and talking about how amazing job V-Squared is doing in Malta and beyond. So, to use the analogy of baking a cake, you bake a cake from the inside out. Just as you create video, you have the wet and dry ingredients, which must be accurately measured and baked delicately to create a cake. What are the vital components for video production?
I think again Rachel needs to answer here.
The vital components for a video production, it's mainly starting from the problem at hand. So for every problem, the way we solve it, we come up with a creative brief, how we can solve that problem, the challenge that the client is facing. So first understanding the aim of the video, because ultimately you need to get that right. Then obviously it starts from getting the script right or the storyboard right, which is important. It starts from telling us a good story, right? Like what we're discussing and what we discussed all the way. Storytelling is crucial when it comes to video. And you need to have all the elements in the right place, which is the storyboard, which is the actors, the casting, the location. So these are all the elements that make a great video production.
If I can add, Rish, I think what's good to add are the team ingredients, sort of, because I know Rachel believes in these a lot. So besides the elements of making a good video, there are also the ingredients of teamwork, which is not easy because we're speaking about a creative thing over here. And I think Rachel can really give you more insight on this, but everyone has their own ideas. And when you have the DOP, which is the director of photography, you have the creative director, you have the production, who's obviously into the casting and the location, and they all have their ideas, but somehow you need to kind of agree on a way forward, obviously, on not just compromise just to find a compromise, but compromise making sure that you are delivering a good quality video. So teamwork, I would say, communication. What are the ingredients, Reish? Can we include?
Very good point, Martina. I think teamwork as well with the clients, because we're not just a team on our own. We work hand in hand with the client. We take the client through the whole journey with us. And that is something that I think it's valued as well by our clients.
Thank you so much, ladies. Let's go to some questions that are female related, because I think Malta, being a small Mediterranean island with influence from Italy as well as Middle East, has got some challenges in terms of female participation in the workplace. Malta is at the tail end of female participation in European Union. So what do you think? What are the changes that need to happen in Malta in order to have more female talent active in politics, active in video production, entrepreneurship?
I'm gonna take this, Reish.
Go for it.
Feel free to come in whenever you'd like, but I think mainly I would say is visibility. I really believe in visibility. When I say visibility, I refer to more women being in these jobs, and young girls can look up and aspire and have role models. If you'd ask probably any girl in Malta who your role model is, it's probably mainly 90% would probably tell you a male, which is unfortunate. Why? Because mostly males are occupying those roles. So what is a major change that is needed is having women do these jobs and having more women visible. So if we take politics, unfortunately, as much as I don't agree with it, I have to agree with the gender quotas. So this will hopefully push women in the right positions where women will be involved in politics, where there'll be more visibility of women in politics. Hopefully, young girls will aspire to be a woman politician in the future, and then hopefully we'll give this a deadline. So gender quotas, I believe, should only be there for a number of years, say 20 years, will give us a bit of a jump start, and then hopefully after 20 years we can abolish all the gender quotas. And the idea is hopefully if the problem has been slightly solved, because I still believe that this problem that we have is not going to be solved in a short time span, but it's going to be taking quite some time. But I believe visibility is where we need to start. We need to see more women holding cameras if it comes to our industry. We need to see more women. When I go into a TV station in Malta, we only see men behind cameras. We only see men in controls rooms. We only see men in technicians. How can I ever want to be a technician or a TV camera person or a director if I'm only seeing men? I can never aspire to be in that position if I am only exposed to seeing men doing those jobs. So I really strongly believe, as you can see, in placing and having women do these jobs for women to aspire to take on, to follow suit.
Martina, I definitely second that, because if I think about another great politician from Malta, Helena Dali, said, it's so easy to change regulation. It's so difficult to change the mindset. So we need that regulation to come in to help us be promoted, go to that C-suite level, go to that political career, because we cannot change the mindset as easy.
No.
Rachel, do you have anything to add?
It's interesting to say that within our company was always a dream, obviously, to employ both men and women. And today we can boast to say we have a gender balanced team, which makes, I think, which gives us something stronger than any other teams. When it's gender balanced, you can have different opinions coming in from different people. It took us around 7 years to employ our first camera woman, which we used to promote a lot, because it comes as well from the companies themselves to promote the people, that are leading the team or that are within the team, that will attract more people towards that company. So we can say we receive a lot of CVs from women nowadays, and we have a lot of choice. So we're very happy that we arrived to that situation within our own company, and we want to continue to strive to achieve the gender balance between our teams.
As Cindy Gallop says, the idea behind the diversity is to bring together people with different mindset, different experiences, different point of views, coming together to take us to have this creative conflict and take us to a far better place and far more innovative than we could do single-handedly or homogeneously. Right, we are heading towards the end of the show, ladies. We've got so many questions and so little time. So let's head to the life lesson quote. Martina, let's start with you. How did it change you, and what's your life lesson quote?
Mine's a little bit, I would call it a fun quote, but I think it really keeps me in check. But it's from Finding Nemo, and my quote is "Just keep swimming." So this is from a film in 2003. But what I'd like to take from this quote is, no matter the challenges we face, we just need to keep pushing through. Every time we face a problem, I tell Rachel, listen, like we've solved all the other problems, we're going to solve this one. And it's just a matter of following your dreams, following your passion, keeping your feet on the ground, and just keep swimming.
Absolutely. I love that quote because it goes together also with the fact that you need to brag, you need to remember to talk about yourself and not fear about what other people might think. Just keep swimming, keep talking about what you do because you have a mission to do, which is bring more females, be a role model for generations, for our sons, for our daughters, for the future. What about Rachel? What's your life lesson quote and how did it change you? How it inspires you?
Mine, it takes me to my philosophy days when I used to study at university, and it was a quote. When I heard it, was something that really struck me, and it is, change is the only constant. So the world is always changing, and so we are as people, consumer demands are changing. The way we do marketing is constantly changing, and the way we interact with each other is constantly changing. Obviously, when we started V Squared, as we mentioned before, we started by doing TV, then we changed because we saw the evolution of the digital world, and we started doing digital marketing through video marketing as well. So change is inevitable. Unfortunately, sometimes it comes unexpectedly, but change is the only constant, and we have to be able to adapt and move forward.
Absolutely, change is the only constant in life. As Heraclius said, we know that Greek emporium is no longer with us, and we know that there is a future for V Squared. What's the future like? Are you going to take over the world? We've heard from Martina. What about next year and the next 5 years? What's the future for? What's the change for V Squared?
Rach, in your hands.
Yeah, okay. So growing, obviously, the aim is to grow V Squared further. We're seeing, and we've seen the major growth, as we mentioned, in the digital marketing industry. So we want to continue specializing, obviously, in this area, and we're seeing tremendous demand for our services in the future and in the present and in the future. Obviously, storytelling is something that we really love and that will always be part of who we are. So hopefully aiming as well to get some foreign clients as well on board with us.
Beautiful. Martina, anything to add to that change?
Not really. I mean, we're growing. We have loads of dreams, and I think growing the team and reaching an international market is definitely one of our biggest goals when it comes to growing V Squared.
Beautiful. Well, in our future, we can say for positivity hacks delivered, we can say definitely we are going to meet next year. This is the last last episode of 2022. We are going to go into 2023. We probably will be seeing lots of amazing creative works from V Squared. I think Christmas is especially very creative time when we see beautiful advertisement for the likes of eBay and different big companies. Who is your inspiration, Rachel? I think from the creative standpoint, which media company is your biggest inspiration?
I would say not a media company. I would say maybe a company who does videos that are great storytelling, like IKEA. I love their videos. They're tongue in cheek sometimes, and I mean, there are so many companies out there that they're doing great job with their video marketing. I love, especially when there's a social tie to it as well. So it depends. It can be a funny video or it can be something more emotional. there are the various videos that definitely make the audience engage with them.
Engage and resonate. What company engages and resonates with Martina? Do you have any examples you love watching? You could go
I
back to
think
that video.
I think mentioning Christmas and mentioning video, I think they're very cliche, but I think everyone looks forward to the John Lewis Christmas advert. And as Rachel was mentioning, I think this year especially they really hit use their message on the a very important issue where it's on fostering, I think. And you see the father learning how to skate because they knew that the child they were about to foster was into skateboarding. And I really believe that the emotion, I think it's the emotion. So we're speaking about storytelling. I think it's the emotion. Once you manage to portray the emotion through video, whether it's angry, whether it's sad, whether it's happy, whether it's surprising, I think once you've managed to transfer that emotion, then you have successfully succeeded in portraying the message. So I would say John Lewis is a given, is an obvious. But this year was one of my favorite video messages from John Lewis.
From creative side point, I would say that definitely seeing not an obvious role of a father is something that is touching us, and thinking creatively, having a creative approach. When we think about, for example, automotive industry, I think the companies are winning big when they are focusing on female market, especially given the fact that females are the decision makers when it comes to buying cars. That's a statistic for you, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we are coming to the end of our show. Ladies, I wanted to ask you, imagine you could have one person in front of you and have a private breakfast with. Who would it be? Let's start with Rachel.
Yes, for me it would be Brené Brown. I love her conversation on the power of vulnerability, and especially in leadership, where she says that it's beautiful to be vulnerable, and that is what makes you a great leader as well. So it would be her, and I would take her to have some pastizzi, and tea in a glass.
Excellent. Where would you have that fitaza? Is it in Valletta or any other exciting location?
Maybe I'll go to Rabat at Serkin, the very special place for pastizzi, with all
Beautiful.
the old men over there, discussing and about the latest issues or the latest football game. So it will be very Maltese.
Absolutely. What about you, Martina?
Mine's a really strange one, but in Malta, there's a big sensation, at least with mine, there's a big sensation with Lidl. So Lidl is obviously a very famous supermarket franchise, which has been in Malta for the last 5 to 6 years. But it has really impressed me. Lidl managed to enter a market, I believe, where it's slowly not crushing, but affecting the other traditional supermarkets. And I would love to meet the CEO, the original founder of Lidl, who created this amazing brand, who made it for the mass. So it's a supermarket for the mass because they're affordable prices. But suddenly I feel it's becoming also very trendy. So it's cool to love Lidl. It's cool to be in love with Lidl. And it's something that really impressed me. It's a marketing strategy that really broke all the norm when it comes to. I mean, being cool is usually only for the chosen. Whilst Lidl, the mass, it involves the mass audience, and it's still very cool. So for some reason, at this point in time, maybe next week it will be a different person, but I would love to meet the CEO of Lidl.
Martina, that's definitely a unique want and need and dream to meet the founder of Lidl. Maybe you will have opportunity to meet the founder of Aldi or
On
Geronimo
ID.
Martins.
Yes, of ID. Yes, but
Uh,
we don't have ID in Malta yet, so it's something we're still waiting for. Lidl is is one of the first cheap supermarkets that we have.
Well, this is it, episode 86 of PhD Livestream. Thanks to our guests Martina Zammit and Rachel Cachia. To stay updated and ensure you never miss a Positivity Hack delivered, follow Woman on IT and turn on notifications to be alerted once a video has been released. Thank you so much to our commenters Jane, Rombit, Marianne in Love and in Pain, Olga Vasina, IPOVIT in Patrick's opinion. Thank you once again to our lovely guest. We are going to be back with our next year episode and I hope to see you all. Happy and Merry Christmas to you all. And remember to focus on the positives because when you focus on positives, the positives get more positive. Till next year, Merry Christmas and see you hacking the future. Yay!
Bye.